Picture this. Our guy is bored in a meeting and texts his online girlfriend, Baby.
I want to see you in a black strap dress tonight. Can you send a pic?
But then, a second later, the exact same text appears. Right on the giant projector screen for the entire company to see. And the plot twist? Her contact name for him is Husband. This is wild.
They actually met on a leg-focused dating app and never shared face pics. But they vibed so well, they made it official online pretty fast.
Since then, he has been pretty bold with his cheeky requests. Always asking her for spicy photos, but when she sent her first teaser pic, he was absolutely stunned. Like, her body is built different. Especially those gorgeous long legs, absolutely top tier. Bro, no shot! The entire room starts whispering about the CEO's secret husband.
Mentions of blackstrap dresses? Wake up! This is crazy!
Did you see that message on the screen just now?
This is low-key the office gossip of the year, but our guy is just dying inside.
His coworker thinks he is just falling asleep and nudges him to look up. And when he does, he locks eyes directly with the ice-cold CEO. Meeting her freezing cold glare, he quickly fakes a smile and looks back down. Under her sharp gaze, the whispers instantly quiet down. Heart pounding like crazy. Suddenly, his phone buzzes with her reply. Okay, I will wear it tonight. She adds that she is in a meeting and tells him to be good. This strict, scary boss is actually acting cute? The author absolutely cooked here. Once the meeting ends, he stumbles back to his desk in a complete daze. Then she texts him asking why he's ignoring her during her meeting.
She asks if he is mad and promises to make it up to him.
His screen is flooded with unread messages, all from his online girlfriend. She thinks he is angry, but he is actually just terrified of getting caught. Then she sends a photo, and wait, isn't that what the CEO? Word of the meeting? The black stockings and high heels are an exact match. Right then, his manager walks up and asks Chen Ze why he is daydreaming. He says the CEO wants him in her office. Yeah, he is cooked. Gripping his phone tight, he feels like he is walking straight into a trap. Standing nervously in front of her desk, he asks if she needed something. All romantic fantasies vanish if she finds out her boyfriend is her employee. A brutal breakup is guaranteed. Meanwhile, she is busy typing on her computer. But his phone just keeps buzzing relentlessly in the quiet room. She looks up with an annoyed frown, making him quickly apologize for the noise. He silences it, but the tense silence drags on for 20 whole minutes. Finally, she stands up from her desk with a deeply disappointed look. Staring at him coldly, she notes he looked completely spaced out during the meeting. Like he wasn't paying attention at all. And what's worse? His project last month had major mistakes, and she warns him they don't keep slackers. Hearing this, he starts shaking. Is he seriously getting fired right now? He stammers an apology, claiming he has been dealing with some family issues lately. Your head isn't in the game, but don't worry. This will absolutely never happen again, but Hugh is the real story. He spent last night on a wild phone call with this exact woman. That is why he barely slept. She warns him that another mistake means he can pack his bags, then she waves him out. He barely survives the lecture and heads back to his desk to see dozens of unread texts from her online persona. He rubs his aching temples as she texts, "Baby, please talk to me. I am having a terrible day today." That useless employee messed up a project last month and cost the company a fortune. Whining like a baby, she sends one last text. He is completely speechless. Wait, she is literally talking about him. Useless? He texts back to be good. My boss just chewed me out, so I could not check my phone. You should be gentler with your staff. Maybe even give them a raise. To make them loyal. He smirks and hits send. He is already dreaming of an extra zero on his next paycheck. A second later, she replies asking what company his boss is at, saying she will destroy them for scolding him. He just sighs. She completely ignored the part about giving him a raise. She only focused on the scolding part. Whatever, he lets it go. After work, he stays late to fix the project he messed up. At least in the real world. He cannot look like a loser in front of her, or he can never win her over. If he does great, maybe she will fall for him in real life. Thinking about her gorgeous body makes him giggle like an idiot. Why are you giggling instead of going home? a cold voice asks behind him.
His hair stands on end. "Oh, boss, you are still here?"
He explains he wants to work harder to make up for his mistake. She listens quietly and leaves. He grins and texts his baby, asking if she is finally free. She replies instantly that she is just leaving to grab dinner, asking if she is a good girl. Seeing her chat like this, honestly, this double life trope is sending me. It is hard to believe she is the same cold lady boss. He sends a kiss and snaps a quick photo of his lips. Making sure his uniform is out of frame, she texts back that they have known each other a while, and she wants to meet up. This completely catches him off guard. Is online flirting not enough? Does she want to take things offline? He replies that it is too soon, since they barely know each other. She pouts, saying he already knows her measurements by heart. Thankfully, she does not push too hard on the meeting. So he works on client proposals while flirting with his boss. Talk about a dream job. But then she suddenly rushes back to the office in a panic. She runs straight inside. Next second, his phone buzzes with an apology about leaving her camisole behind. She texts him that she could not buy a black one, only a purple camisole. She asks if he likes it and then sends over a photo of it. Our guy zooms in to look, and he almost gets a massive nosebleed right there. Honestly, this is barely even a camisole. It is literally just a few thin strips. It only covers the absolute essential spots, and yeah, his imagination is already running completely wild. He shakes his head to snap out of it, reminding himself that he is still in the office. She texts saying she has an employee working overtime outside, so they cannot call tonight. She complains about how annoying it is that he is working late today. Reading this, our main character is triggered because both of these people are literally him. Why the double standards? But this hilarious situation gives him an absolutely wild idea. Grinning deviously, he texts her back, asking if she remembers promising to obey his commands. Inside her office, the gorgeous CEO blushes red as he sends over his very first official command. Wear that purple camisole right now, then throw a heavy winter coat over it. Go invite your overtime employee out for dinner, he sends, loving every second of this. He quickly drops his phone and pretends to work, though he is internally screaming with pure excitement. She asks if this is some kind of role play, feeling weird because she barely knows him. She suggests calling it off. But wait, did she not say she wanted some real excitement? She wants to cancel the whole plan, but honestly, he was already shocked when he first discovered her secret. Who knew his online girlfriend had a low-key submissive side, and finding out she is his actual CEO makes it even better. With so many spicy possibilities ahead, he immediately pushes her to agree, and she quickly submits so he does not get mad. After she agrees, he shuts down his computer, and the entire office falls dead silent. Straining his ears in the quiet office, he immediately hears some very sus rustling noises from her room. The soft, rustling sounds make him hold back the intense urge to just barge in. Once the rustling noises quiet down, he quickly stands up from his desk. He pretends to pack up his things like he's leaving, and right on cue, the gorgeous CEO finally steps out of her office, and our guy immediately steals a quick glance at her. She is indeed wearing a heavy coat, but knowing what is underneath gets him hyped. It is absolutely wild. The CEO is walking right toward his desk. He politely tells her that he is wrapping up for the night, but she immediately stops him in his tracks. Our guy plays totally clueless, looking up at her with the most innocent face ever. She mutters that it is getting late and she has not eaten dinner yet. She bluntly tells him to join her for dinner. She practically forces those embarrassed words out through her clenched teeth, while our guy acts completely shocked and immediately tries to politely decline. No way, he says. It is just normal overtime. She does not need to pay. He cannot possibly let his boss spend money on him when he can eat at home. Cut the nonsense, she snaps. If you do not come tonight, you are fired tomorrow. Without giving him a single chance to refuse, she turns around and walks away. Suddenly, his phone buzzes with a text from her, asking what she should buy him. She admits she has never treated anyone before, and seeing his boss look so cute is hilarious. He almost laughs out loud, texting her to just ask her employee directly. He jokingly texts that listening to other people might be a good idea, then quietly follows her all the way down to the lobby. Getting into her car, he acts super polite and apologizes for making her buy dinner. He promises to work extra hard to make up for it, keeping up his act. What do you want to eat? She asks, completely cutting off his passionate speech. She asks coldly, leaving him feeling a little bit annoyed. Realizing he's obsessed with her online self while treating her real-life self like absolute garbage? Yeah, she immediately cooks up a plan to prank him. How about hot pot? Perfect weather to sweat. It'll feel amazing after a shower, but the CEO instantly hesitates. Sensing his weakness, she immediately adds fuel to the fire. Maybe somewhere cheaper? Or is hot pot too expensive for you? But the moment she says it, the CEO glares like crazy. Then he slams on the gas pedal and speeds off. They drive in total silence with his face completely blank. He is clearly triggered, and she is low-key laughing at his cold attitude. Just you wait. Her little revenge mission is officially underway. She guides him to a famous local hot pot spot packed with people. Smelling the spicy broth in the air, the CEO hesitates again. He just stands at the door, so she confidently walks right in. She snags a window seat and starts ordering without him. 10 minutes later, he finally creeps inside, very cautiously. He sits opposite her, looking incredibly awkward and out of place. She tells him it's boiling hot and suggests he take off his coat. To show him, she takes off her uniform, revealing a t-shirt. He just glares. But the moment he spots her t-shirt, he completely freezes. She glances down and instantly panics. It's the exact same shirt she wore during their video call. Is she exposed? Thankfully, he just cold shoulders her. He goes back to his phone, letting her breathe a sigh of relief. Suddenly, her phone buzzes with a text from him. He texts that some employee has her shirt, but his babe looks better. Reading this lovesick message, she is utterly speechless.
Seriously, this lovesick CEO is built different. She asks if the employee looks like her, but he denies it.
No way, he says, you are the absolute best. And so they both sit there in dead silence, texting each other. Even the waiter thinks they look incredibly shady. She texts him saying she's feeling a bit shy right now. But his reply is so shocking, she literally spits her water out. She starts coughing violently, almost choking right there at the table. This sudden outburst catches the CEO's eye and she quickly apologizes. Meanwhile, the CEO thinks his online babe is getting bolder by the second. Teasing him like this in public? She definitely has a wild side. Soon, the food arrives and she finally puts her phone away. She digs right in, while the CEO realizes his online girls stopped texting. He also puts away his phone and starts eating. As time passes, the heat from the hot pot gets intense. Even in a t-shirt she's sweating, so imagine how roasting the CEO is in his thick coat. She is sweating like crazy, needs some air. She leaves our boy behind, telling him to eat first before bolting out. Through the window, he can see her cooling off by flapping her jacket, letting the cold air hit her. Honestly, seeing her like this gives him a weird sense of accomplishment. But then, some random drunks approach her. Hey, beautiful, need us big brothers to cool you off? Right out of a nearby food stall. 3 drunk creeps stumble out. Get lost! She has zero patience for these losers and just drops a freezing cold warning. She turns back, but they block her. They aggressively grab her sleeve and tear her shirt wide open. Her pale, toned skin is exposed, making these creeps drool. Stop acting innocent. You wanted this attention. The bald guy grabs her hand, using all his brute force to drag her away from the shop. She slaps him across the face, but the physical difference is just too much. The hit barely even registers, only making the creep even more excited. Feisty one, he sneers. Just as they try to grab her, our boy finally charges out of the restaurant. Just in time, he pulls her into his arms. Holding her close, he looks at the 3 and tells them to chill out. Go home and sleep off the alcohol, unless you really want to get beat up. But she struggles, so he smacks her backside. That actually keeps her quiet. The drunks demand to know who he is. They warn him not to ruin their fun, or he will spend his life in a hospital bed. Now our guy is getting mad. No. The CEO glares daggers at our guy, but he glares right back. Like, hello, he is literally saving her life here. Still annoyed by her attitude, he decides to teach her a quick lesson. He smacks her backside again, just as the thugs step up and warn him. They warn him that whatever they want is theirs, so he better not interfere. Otherwise, they will make him pay, and the three of them waste no time. Fueled by alcohol, they try to grab the CEO, but our guy is built different. He shoves the boss behind him, grabs the bald thug's arm, and twists it hard. The guy screams like a dying pig while our MC warns the other two thugs. He warns that one more step and their buddy's arm snaps. The bald guy begs them to stay back while our MC tells them to go sleep it off. Next time they act this blind, they will definitely lose a limb. Watching the thugs run away, our guy turns to the CEO with a smug smile. He brags that she would have been in major trouble without him. Feeling a bit too bold, he jokingly asks if she's going to give him a raise. He goes to throw his arm around her shoulder, but the next second his world completely spins. By the time he realizes what happened, he is flat on the ground. Wait, plot twist, she instantly pins him down in a perfect grapple. In absolute agony, he taps the ground frantically, trying to get her to let go. She has no intention of stopping, leaving him shocked by her hidden martial arts. He complains that she should have warned him before he smacked her backside twice. He has to back down because this situation is getting out of hand. Those three opponents had massive anger issues. He was just trying to protect his gorgeous boss and make her calm down. She isn't listening. Instead, she grips his arm even harder. Let go already. It's pure torture. She is surprisingly brutal and warns him that he is crossing the line. She warns him that he is just an employee, but before he can even argue, suddenly he realizes they are tangled together in a highly compromising position. His eyes land on a very private view. Hey boss, do you like purple? Talk about zero filter. Hearing his ridiculous comment, the CEO instantly freezes in absolute disbelief. She catches him staring at her lingerie, and boom, 30 minutes later, he is in the hospital. His left arm is wrapped in a thick cast, looking completely defeated. He warns her that letting anger win is a bad idea. Now her top employee is completely out of commission. She coldly snaps that he is fired and doesn't need to return. But he spots some guilt in her eyes. Leaning in with a playful grin, he says everyone knows she's actually a sweet boss. Besides, he literally just saved her. She tells him he was just being nosy, then stands straight up. He just grins. Right on cue, his phone buzzes. Okay, the irony here is actually crazy. His secret online girlfriend is literally his boss.
She texts him saying she has urgent business tonight.
Is everything okay? He looks down at his bandaged arm and smiles at the sheer irony. She replies that some company projects are keeping her incredibly busy. Her next text says not to wait up because she will make it up to him later. He laughs inside because she completely ignored the fact that she broke his arm. He'll let her save face. Out of nowhere, the CEO appears in front of him, asking what's so funny.
Seeing his smug expression, her face turns instantly icy.
He quickly wipes the smirk away and says it is nothing. Where do you live? She promises him fully paid leave until his arm completely heals. Walking away without another word, she leaves him zero room to argue. He can only follow her out. Give me your address so I can drop you off, she demands. She clearly has zero interest in chatting. It is likely because his presence ruined her night. No online boyfriend time tonight. Naturally, she is taking her frustration out on him. He reaches into his pocket. His keys are totally gone. Did they fall out when she was pinning him to the ground? Either way, he's locked out, and bringing up her pinning him down makes her completely lose it. The Ice Queen CEO instantly blushes red before giving him the ultimate death glare. The next second, she grabs right onto his cast-covered arm. She warns him that mentioning this again will turn that fracture into complete dust. Got it? She looks absolutely terrifying. Our main character gulps and nods like his life depends on it. She lets go and decides to send him to a hotel instead. She will cover his recovery costs, but he immediately fakes intense pain. He whines that a hotel is too lonely with nobody to care for him. Talk about zero gratitude. Hearing her hotel plan, he is not having it. This completely ruins his plans of getting closer to her. So he throws a tantrum about helping her out all night long. And now she is just abandoning him. Talk about a cold move. Fine, she sighs. He can stay over and she will call a locksmith tomorrow. Once it is fixed, he must leave and stop causing her trouble. Honestly, his shameless begging actually worked and she completely cracked.
She agrees to take him home tonight, even if it is temporary.
He wanted a permanent stay, but this is still a massive win.
Inside her apartment, total victory.
He is super satisfied, while she drives with a dark, angry face. Meanwhile, our guy is just chilling in the passenger seat. Soon, they pull into an insanely luxury estate that leaves him totally speechless. Even at night, this place looks like a literal royal palace. The gorgeous scenery has our simple main character completely jaw-dropped. Annoyed, she grabs his arm and drags him away before anyone notices. She is totally mortified by his goofy reaction. Hey, look at that, old Lou. Is that the neighborhood's famous Ice Queen female boss? The guards whisper, shocked she actually brought a guy home. No surprise there. Women her age eventually need company. But honestly, this guy looks way too goofy. Meanwhile, he is dragged along, having absolutely no clue that the guards are gossiping about them. Once they get inside the building, she finally breathes easy. Thank goodness, no neighbors in sight. If anyone saw her with a strange guy, the rumors would explode. That is when she realizes she is still holding onto his arm. Smoothly, he tells her he does not mind at all. He playfully promises not to accuse her of taking advantage of him. Of course, if she did not feel slightly guilty about his arm, she probably would have slapped him into next week. He watches her unlock the door, his heart racing. He is finally about to be the first guy inside. But as the lights turn on, he is completely frozen. The interior design looks like something his grandfather would choose. It is incredibly plain for a powerful female boss. There is barely any furniture in the entire place. She points and tells him his room is on the first floor. She points him to a spot by the bathroom, ordering him to stay put tonight. If she catches him sneaking upstairs, she is calling the cops on him immediately. After laying down a bunch of ground rules, the cold female CEO heads straight upstairs. As the shower starts running in the bathroom, our boy gets pretty bored. So he sits on the sofa and starts inspecting the entire living room. It is a super basic black and white decor without a single plant in sight. For a girl's apartment, you would think there would be at least some cute pink decorations. That is normal, right? Honestly, he starts feeling a little bad for her at this point. In real life, she plays the ruthless boss, but online, she is actually just a vulnerable girl. She used to vent her daily struggles to him, and suddenly he gets a wild idea. He wants to break down her walls and bring out her lively side. Tapping into that cute, shy inner girl is the plan, until his stomach loudly ruins the moment. They were supposed to grab Hot Pot tonight, but chaos kept getting in the way.
Now he is absolutely starving, so he decides to look for food himself.
But wait, he suddenly gets curious about his online girlfriend's cooking skills. So he decides to ignore his hunger and wait for her to finish bathing. 1 whole hour later, just as he is about to pass out from starvation, the boss finally walks out, spotting him lying flat on the couch looking completely dead. From the second floor, she asks why he is not asleep, and he complains he is too hungry. She sighs, walks downstairs, and pulls a carton of cold milk out of the fridge. Throwing it right at him, she tells him to drink up and sleep. But he asks if this cold drink is really how she treats her star employee. He begs her to cook some simple noodles, pointing out that both of them are starving. Skipping dinner is not just cruel to him, it is torture for her too. Her face goes totally dark, clearly holding back the urge to strangle him right there. Still, she opens the fridge and aggressively grabs a bunch of ingredients. She fires up the stove to boil some water while our boy just closes his eyes. Listening to her hustle around the kitchen, he starts daydreaming. He actually starts wondering what they should name their future kids. They have not even exchanged real names yet, but he is already imagining their kid in elementary school. Suddenly, a terrible burnt smell hits his nose, making him jump right up. He watches the CEO dump a whole pot of ruined noodles straight into the trash. Cleaning the pot immediately becomes her main focus, and he tries to justify it. She obviously does not cook, so messing up the first attempt is totally normal. It is fine, he thinks, trying to reassure himself that everything is going to be okay. But then she grabs unwashed vegetables, tears them apart, and throws them right in. Once the water boils, she grabs another handful of noodles and chucks them in too. Maybe they were washed beforehand, he thinks. A little dirt never hurt anyone. He keeps trying to cope, but then he watches her crack an egg over the pot.
Half the shell drops straight in, and she does not even notice.
At this point, he bolts upright because this girl is straight up trying to poison him. He cannot let her continue this disaster, so he nervously calls out to her. Offering to take over, he politely mentions she seems a bit out of practice. Finding a polite way to say she is terrible in the kitchen takes some serious brainpower. But she demands another try, insisting that next time will definitely be perfect. That is when he realizes it is not just clumsiness. She literally has zero clue how to cook. Seeing her look so lost melts his heart completely. He steps in. Honestly, seeing this legendary cold boss try to cook is low-key adorable. She has definitely never touched a stove in her entire life, let alone prepared a full meal. Plus, he is starving, so he quickly washes the pot and fills it up. Water boils, and in go the noodles while he preps the vegetables on the side. The beautiful boss sits right behind him, watching his smooth movements. Unbelievable! She is completely stunned by his cooking efficiency. Cooking has never looked so effortless to her.
He does not even notice her staring because he is entirely focused on executing this dish perfectly.
Crack! 2 eggs go straight into the boiling water. Just 10 seconds and they are done. He scoops them out, letting the rich yellow yolk ooze onto the noodles. With just a few drops of sesame oil, an absolutely mouth-watering aroma fills the entire kitchen. Dinner is served. Since he always cooks for himself, he is highly confident in his skills.
He serves the simple bowl, which now looks like a luxury dish under his touch.
The noodles glisten. That perfect soft yolk on top is pure perfection. Truly top tier.
He adds fresh green vegetables to complete the plating.
Placing his bowl down, he digs in. Being absolutely starved, he eats quickly while she asks if he cooks often. Curiously, she asks if he cooks often, her cold voice finally softening. He explains that living alone means cooking for himself, otherwise takeout bills get way too high. Plus, delivery food is pretty unhealthy anyway. Cooking is safer. Watching him eat so happily, she finally takes a bite. Instantly, her eyes light up. It reminds her of her mother's cooking, and he tells her to rest after eating. He will clean everything. Honestly, our boy's confidence is literally through the roof right now. She looks at his broken arm, looking worried. Surprised by her care, he smiles and says it is fine. He already caused her so much trouble, so he simply refuses to just sit around doing nothing.
She finally goes to bed.
After clearing the table, he starts washing the dishes. Suddenly, his phone buzzes with a late goodnight text. Morning comes, and she walks out of her room only to find him already busy in an apron. He is sweating, having worked hard since 6 in the morning. A massive, beautiful breakfast is finally ready, leaving her totally stunned as she asks what he is doing. That gentle side from last night? Completely gone. She is back to her freezing self, but he smiles anyway. Without a doubt, since she cannot cook, she probably skips the most important meal of the day. Since our boy has zero work to do anyway, he decides to whip up a quick breakfast. The CEO just sits there with a total poker face, watching him run around the kitchen. But then she randomly drops a bomb. She is driving him home right after breakfast, making him freeze mid-egg fry. Wait, is his plan to stay over already dead? He plays it cool and says, sure, thanks. He turns around with a bright, sunny smile, serving up the perfectly fried eggs. Silence. She just grabs some toast. She makes a quick sandwich, takes one bite, and boom, her facial expression completely changes. Her mind is totally blown. She suddenly asks if he has any plans back home today. The sudden question completely catches him off guard, leaving our guy momentarily speechless. He tells her nothing major is going on, and he can easily work from home if needed. She explains she actually thought about it, since his injury technically happened on the clock. She wants to cover his food expenses as a reimbursement, especially since she has zero time to cook. So the deal is simple. She pays for the groceries, he cooks, and they call it even. She keeps a straight face while eating her sandwich, acting like it is no big deal. Our boy immediately sees right through her, and honestly, last night's simple bowl of noodles was legendary. He officially conquered her stomach, so he plays along, saying he almost forgot about his injury.
Since his injured arm still needs daily dressing changes, staying at her place to help out is basically a complete win-win. He offers to be her personal chef, and just like that, they are both on board. One wants to stay, the other wants food. And boom, he officially moves in. The CEO heads off to work, leaving him to do some light cleaning with one hand.
Afterward, he flops onto the couch and texts her as her secret online boyfriend, saying, "Morning, dear."
She sends a dry morning back because deep down, she is feeling super guilty right now. She literally feels like she is cheating. And yet, she just let another real-life man move straight into her house to distract herself. She spends the entire morning grinding through paperwork like crazy until the final document is signed off. By then, she is completely drained and has to lean on the desk just to stay upright. Standing up is a struggle. She texts her online boyfriend complaining about how exhausting work is.
She starts complaining that her back is absolutely killing her today.
But here is the crazy part. She has not even noticed yet. Things are shifting. Ever since he moved in, they have barely sent any sweet texts to each other online anymore. She is totally oblivious to this shift, but our main character is tracking every single little detail.
He texts back, telling her to sit up straight and stretch.
He tells her to stretch and ends with a sweet love you while she sits there rubbing her sore back. Oddly enough, all she can think about is him cooking in her kitchen last night. It was the first time she ever let her guard down and showed her weak side to anyone. Her Ice Queen persona completely cracked, pride melted. Meanwhile, our guy is already steps ahead, calling a store to order a special heated waist support belt. He asks for one that specifically helps soothe back pain and keeps her warm.
Hanging up the phone, he just lounges on the sofa like he totally owns the place.
Honestly, having this kind of future knowledge feels like playing a game with active cheat codes. For the rest of the day, she does not even text her online boyfriend back once. Instead, he spends his time walking around her house, taking notes on a notepad. His plan is simple. He is going to completely redecorate her dull space and brighten it up. A girl living in a depressing black and white room for too long is bound to mess with her mental health. So our main character and his beautiful boss spend the whole day grinding, but then her call comes in. Turns out the boss is video calling him, asking for help carrying some stuff downstairs.
He heads down, and honestly, what he sees next is wild.
He's completely speechless. Standing right next to the CEO are
2 shopping carts packed to the absolute brim. She tells him she wasn't sure what he needed,
so she just bought everything. Plus, she low-key wants grilled fish for dinner.
She's super shy saying this, but our guy knows this is actually a massive win for them.
She's finally opening up. But since she's only got one good arm to carry all this, even the two of them together struggle to haul this massive food mountain. It takes every bit of their strength to finally
Get everything inside. Looking at their absolutely packed living room, he can't help but smile.
This finally feels like a real home, unlike the empty place from before. Meanwhile, the boss completely forgets her professional image, face planting onto the couch while clutching her forehead. She's clearly exhausted. As our main character starts putting all the groceries away in the fridge, he starts chatting with her. He tells her there's really no need to push herself this hard. She's got to give herself a break sometimes, but she doesn't even reply. He assumes she's just ignoring him, but when he finishes cleaning up and turns around, he sees she's already knocked out cold on the couch, so he walks over and gently grabs a blanket, draping it over her to keep her warm.
Then he sets down the heating waist belt he bought earlier right where she'll see it first thing.
Humming a tune, he gets to work on that grilled fish. Honestly, he feels just like a husband. Cooking a warm dinner for his hardworking wife, he keeps busy like this for an hour. Just as he finally gets the fish onto the tray, the boss slowly blinks awake. Feeling the blanket on her, she immediately sits right up in surprise.
Seeing him busy in the kitchen makes her instantly relax. Honestly, she's never felt safe enough to fall asleep around anyone else. Does she actually trust him that much?
But right then, she spots the heating belt sitting right there on the coffee table. He says he got it for her since she was struggling to carry everything. Her back must be hurting, and checking the calendar, he figured her period is coming up, so he bought her that heating belt. He even prepped some brown sugar tea, telling her to enjoy the delicious food while she can. He keeps cooking without even turning around as he says all this. His hands are busy, but he's already picturing her reaction.
And just as he predicted, the boss is about to be absolutely touched.
She stares down at the heating belt and the brown sugar, totally speechless.
She just sits there, completely overwhelmed. For years, she had to carry everything on her own. Nobody truly cared. Even her online boyfriend only
sends sweet text, but the guy in front of her is actually showing real care.
She just keeps staring at him, not even realizing she's low-key falling hard for this guy. And boom, he finishes the final step and the ultimate grilled fish is officially ready. He serves up the oysters, rice, and grilled fish, placing the massive feast on the table. But the boss is still completely zoned out, just staring at him blankly. He laughs and asks what she's doing, telling her it's time to eat. He waves his chopsticks right in front of her face until she finally snaps out of it. Our guy grabs his bowl and sits across the room since she is the boss. He is just the hired chef here, so sitting together is out of the question. Talk about knowing your place. He completely ignores whatever look she gives him. He happily digs into his rice while the female president takes a bite of fish. Instantly, her eyes light up as she gets ready to drop some compliments. But she turns to see him resting his chin, looking like he is begging for praise. He smugly asks if it tastes amazing, which instantly annoys her. She claims it is barely better than street food, which is classic tsundere energy. Whew, his smile freezes instantly. Talk about a complete ego death. But from an angle he cannot see, she catches his crushed face. A tiny smirk slips past her cold exterior while he starts doubting his skills. Suddenly, he notices her bowl is completely empty and her face is low-key flushed. Sweat is dripping down her forehead and she is subtly gasping for air. He is cheering inside. No shot she is trying to act tough right now. He asks if it is too spicy, noting she never mentioned her low tolerance. He walks to the fridge while she stubbornly claims it is just hot. In reality, her lips are red and slightly parted from the heat. Honestly, she looks incredibly cute. He steps back over to the table. He slides a cold can of sweet peanut milk right in front of her. He tells her to stop pretending and just drink it to cool down. Plus, her period is coming up soon, so eating super spicy food is bad. Hearing him casually bring up her cycle makes the boss freeze up completely. Her face turns bright red as she asks how he even knows that. He simply points toward the wall behind her. There is a calendar hanging right there. At first, he was pretty confused. He wondered why certain days were circled every single month, but did the math. Turns out those were her period days, and this month is coming up fast. The timing is literally perfect. At this point, she is completely speechless. She looks down, still claiming it was bad, despite eating half the fish alone. Once she is full, she collapses on the couch and orders him around. Pointing at the empty plates, she casually admits she actually liked the dinner. She tells him to keep it up and clean up the mess. He prepares a warm cup of brown sugar water, telling her to drink up. Taking care of herself now will make those cramp days much easier. The boss just mumbles a weak agreement while laying on the couch. Honestly, that is a terrible habit, lying flat when her back already hurts. Putting too much pressure on her spine is only going to make it worse. He does not even know where he gets the confidence, but as he speaks, he gently places his hand on her waist and applies some firm pressure. Her spine lets out a satisfying pop, and she looks up in shock. The sudden relief is unreal. He explains that keeping constant tension ruins her back. He warns her to take better care of herself from now on. If she collapses, who pays his salary? With that, he heads to the kitchen. He knows he cannot push his luck too much. Being too clingy ruins things. Keeping a perfect, comfortable distance is his best bet to stay under her roof. Our boy knows that distance makes the heart grow fonder, so he keeps his online persona active. He texts his boss as her online boyfriend, asking if she is feeling better after a busy day. She replies that she is recovering, but it still hurts sometimes. And because he is away, she complains that nobody is there to care for her. She texts that she wishes they could meet, annoyed that he always rejects voice calls. No video calls either. It feels like a secret, underground relationship. Seeing these texts from his gorgeous boss, our boy starts to sweat. Talk about a headache. He literally just took such great care of her in real life. And lately, he has not even dared to tease her like he used to. He lives right under her roof, so one voice call would instantly ruin his cover.
To change the subject, he asks if she has eaten yet.
She declines, bragging that she is learning to cook and just made grilled fish. Pretty impressive, right? But then, she sends a photo of the grilled fish, the one he actually cooked for her. He made it. Honestly, the irony here is actually crazy. He feels like a complete simp.
His boss is literally using his own cooking to impress her online boyfriend.
Even though her online boyfriend is also him, it still hurts his pride a little. So he decides it is time to make a move and says he has to go on a trip. He lies, claiming he is heading deep into the mountains with terrible phone service.
He tells her they will not be able to talk for about 2 weeks.
After hitting send, he scrolls down to find a generic rural photo. Sending her the hometown picture as proof, he already has a secret plan. His goal is to make his boss fall for his real-life self over these next 2 weeks. He wants her to love him for real, not his virtual persona. He literally names this secret mission Operation Tell Lao Mo I Want Fish. Since he suddenly announced his online break, they end up talking all night long. They share stories about how they met and funny life moments. He even sends her random hometown photos to make it completely believable. But staying up all night playing this double life has a cost. Our boy ends up with massive dark circles while making her breakfast the next morning. The second she heads to work, he passes out on the sofa to catch up on sleep. When he finally wakes up, his boss is standing there with a stack of documents. He groggily asks if she is back already. Seeing her home, he instinctively assumes it is time to make dinner. He scrambles to grab his apron, but she quickly stops him right there. She tells him he is working from home starting today due to a messed up project. The client specifically demanded him, so his workday just got moved up. Since this deal is massive, he needs to finish the proposal tonight. She is taking him to the meeting tomorrow, clearly taking this partnership very seriously. Her tone is intense, leaving him worried about dinner. But wait, plot twist! She rolls up her sleeve to cook dinner herself! She tells him to focus on work, but he is highly skeptical of her skills. Still, he does not complain since this business proposal is his top priority. But just as he gets in the zone, a sudden scream from the kitchen interrupts him. He looks up to see his boss panicking and shaking her hands. Her finger is literally stuck inside a giant scallop. Our boy grabs the president's hand, telling her not to move, and pries it open. With a quick pull, he gets her hand free. Like, seriously, how are you this clumsy? Still holding her hand, he searches the nearby cabinets for a first aid kit. He grabs some gauze and antiseptic to start cleaning her finger. First, he dabs the blood away, even gently blowing on it like she's a toddler. He applies the disinfectant and carefully wraps it up with gauze. By the end of this, the president's face is literally as red as a lobster. Realizing he's still holding her hand, he quickly lets go and offers to make dinner. After dinner, the big boss actually takes over the chore duty herself. Meanwhile, our boy sits at the table completely rewriting this business proposal. Honestly, this client is completely brainless. Their targets are literally the biggest apps out there. They basically expect a brand new startup to somehow crush the industry giants. Overpowering everyone in traffic immediately? Yeah, right. When he first saw this plan, he knew instantly that this was a totally impossible mission. Who even signed off on this? Well, the client is offering crazy money. It was too much cash to refuse, but the cancellation penalty is also insane. One slip-up would literally bankrupt them, but the president ordered him to take it. Plus, the client specifically requested him, so he has to just push through. He starts squeezing some smart traffic driving schemes into the original draft. She tells him to finish up and get some rest. Out of nowhere, she places a freshly brewed cup of coffee right in front of him. He watches those long legs as she turns around and heads off to bed. For some reason, it warms his heart. Still, he rewrites this proposal over and over. It's way past midnight when he finally sleeps. Honestly, he already knows how this ends. Those greedy partners will reject everything just to trigger that massive cancellation fee. Next morning, the female boss is already fully dressed in her sharp suit. She even tosses him a fresh suit, but his arm is still in a cast. There's no way he can dress himself, so he gets the ultimate CEO treatment. What's it like having a gorgeous female president dress you? Let's find out. As his shirt comes off, revealing his 8-pack abs, she's totally stealing glances. Once he catches her looking, she literally closes her eyes for the rest of it. She somehow finishes dressing him, and they finally head out to her car.
They hit the road, heading straight toward the luxury hotel for this big meeting. Walking into the private suite, the partner company is already waiting, with smug grins. They claim they've heard rumors about the gorgeous president, completely ignoring our boy. Seeing her in person, they are instantly hooked, staring her down with sleazy eyes. As for our main character, they just snicker and look down on him.
He suddenly realizes they didn't even set up a seat for him.
The lead client is this incredibly greasy, middle-aged guy who keeps telling the boss to sit. From the moment they walked in, his eyes have been absolutely glued to her. He is just shamelessly ogling the president, and since there's no chair, our boy is left standing right beside her like some kind of clown.
The client's employees are literally snickering at him.
Oh, his anger is off the charts. But to save the president's face, he keeps his head down and holds it in. He mocks their reputation, claiming it perfectly matches the rumors. Asking if they even know basic hospitality, but before our main character can snap, the female president quietly sips her water, calmly locking eyes with everyone. A minion barks back, telling her not to act tough just because she's the boss. Asking how they lack hospitality when they're the ones in control.
And seriously, they complain that a mere salesman has no right to sit with them.
But she fires back, asking the client if those two pets speak for him. Honestly, she is radiating absolute final boss energy without even looking up. Our main character is loving this, completely hyped up by his boss's savage power move. The client panics and tells his useless minions to shut their mouths. He tries to laugh it off, claiming it was just a minor misunderstanding, begging her not to get mad, though they clearly wanted to intimidate him first. Since his last proposal failed, but nobody expected the president to protect him like this. Our boss totally backs him up, and the waiter quickly brings over another chair, placing it right next to her as the negotiations officially begin. She looks right at him, telling him to show them what he's got. It is literally like a queen ordering her loyal knight, so he starts immediately, reminding them they're old partners, so he'll keep it short and sweet. He drops a bomb, telling them their demands are absolutely impossible. The slimy client immediately jumps up, complaining directly to President Lin, claiming they want to cooperate, but her employee is just incompetent. He smirks, asking if this counts as a breach of contract. Because if the company fails to deliver, they'll face massive penalties, which would cost them a massive fortune to pay off, potentially ruining the whole company. But our guy just tells him to chill, mocking him, asking if a midlife crisis is making him impatient. Seeing that smug look on the greasy client's face is honestly so irritating, especially the creepy way he keeps staring at the president. The client snaps, but our main character calmly stands his ground. He says the deal can go on, but as the service provider, they are making strict demands, not politely asking. Because according to the contract, the client has obligations too. Our MC points out they must provide full plans, requirements, and credentials. He flips through the files, shoving the papers right in their faces, showing that there is no certification here, even after 2 whole months. They only sent the contract and demands, nothing else. But they completely failed to send their actual company credentials. The slimy client starts sweating, quickly grabbing a wipe for his forehead. He shuts up, but his 2 brainless minions keep screaming, yelling that they already paid the deposit, so the company should just deliver, dismissing the credentials as completely useless paperwork, demanding they just take the money and do their jobs. He looks at them like they're absolute clowns, throwing the papers down, pointing out they only signed a temporary draft agreement back then, along with the initial designs, but there is a major catch. He drops a major reality check. They never actually signed the qualification contract. Sure, we can meet your absurd product demands, but first, he needs to confirm something right now. Whether your company actually has the strength. In other words, are you legit? If you want your traffic to blow past the top-tier products on the market, then you need to show our company some real ironclad proof of your qualifications. We are talking about your registered capital, project plans, and the total pre-investment budget. Right here, he casually grabs a glass from the table and takes a massive gulp, only to look up and lock eyes with his boss, because that cup, it was literally the exact one the boss just drank from. Cue the awkward coughing to hide it. Based on the ambitious design concept you provided, you at least need to show us a massive pre-investment. worth at least $1.5 billion. And if you cannot prove that, or show you have the strength to back this project up, we can instantly cancel the contract. Boom! The other guys are completely speechless. Talk about getting absolutely folded.
They have absolutely no clue what to say next because they never even considered this loophole. These guys literally just wanted to use this impossible task to trap them for easy liquidated damages. Oh right, I forgot to tell you, you only had a 3-month deadline from the moment you signed to hand over those qualification papers. And from where he is standing, you guys only have one final month left. Of course, he is nice about it. He says he truly hopes they can actually produce this proof, since working together is supposed to be a win-win. But he still has to remind everyone that we are rapidly approaching the end of the year. The notary offices are closing for the holidays soon, so better move fast. If you fail to deliver within the specified time, we have every reason to suspect you of contract fraud. Though, surely a massive company of your stature would never do something so completely and utterly shameless, right? Our MC stands up, offers a polite, gentlemanly bow with an extended hand, and the CEO plays along perfectly. If there is nothing else, we will take our leave. Hopefully, we can still work together. But only after you actually get certified. Otherwise, unilateral breach of contract is on you. And that means you will be paying some serious money. With that final flex, they leave the room. Honestly, this was so satisfying to watch. Back in the car, he is ecstatic. He throws a massive victory punch in the air, watching all his stress and worry completely melt away. Not only did he save the company from a massive crisis, but he also clapped back incredibly hard. The boss looks over with a softer tone. Did you really stay up all night finding this loophole? The cold tone of his boss finally softens up, showing a rare moment of actual warmth. After all, getting this matter resolved means the entire company has successfully dodged a massive disaster. Slumping back in the passenger seat, our MC is proudly flexing his genius and saying of course. He admits they could never design that product anyway, so the other company was clearly looking for trouble. And there is definitely a mole inside their own company who pushed that shady contract through. He had to stay up late reading that contract 5 or 6 times to find it. Just to find that golden loophole, demanding a certified budget in 1 month? Asking them to prove they have $1.5 billion in assets is an absolute fantasy. But hey, they can worry about that after the holidays. When that time comes, he tells the boss they can easily hire a top legal team to sue their faces off. Also, remember to fire the employee who signed that contract. They are definitely a spy. He is happily rambling on, completely oblivious to the intense stare his boss is giving him. That silent look basically screams, "Are you trying to tell me what to do?" Feeling the absolute drop in temperature, our MC quickly sits up straight in pure panic. He sees the CEO shaking her head and panics. It is just a suggestion. Just a small idea, really. Whatever she decides to do next is entirely up to her. She is the boss, so he keeps begging for her approval with a forced smile. Surprisingly, the CEO smiles. She promises to boost his year-end bonus by 60%. She wants sweet and sour ribs tonight. Hearing her sweet reaction, our guy is completely over the moon, waving his arm forward like a proud commander. "Let's go home," he says. She freezes, turning to stare at him. He smiles. This hits her deep. It has been years since anyone asked her to go home together. Suddenly, his phone rings. It is an unexpected video call from his loving mom. She asks about his holiday, and she wonders if that psycho boss of his is forcing him to work overtime. The moment the call connects, his mom's sweet, loving face appears right on his phone screen. But her words make our poor guy want to sink into the floor. This is wild. Is literally sitting right next to him. "No way! Our boss is brilliant!" he stammers. "She is inspiring! When did I say psycho?" "Our boss takes great care of me. You must have misheard, Mom." At this point, he desperately throws out every single flattering compliment his brain can cook up. He desperately denies it all, leaving his mom looking completely confused. She asks if he didn't literally complain that his boss docked his pay over a minor mistake. "You literally called her a ruthless female demon who took all your money." And asking about her irregular periods, our guy panics, begging her to stop. "I beg you to stop talking, Mom, or I will not survive to see the holidays."
She asks if someone is next to him, making it hard to talk. He literally wants to cry. If only she realized this a few minutes earlier, he would not be in danger. It is too late now anyway, since the CEO has already heard every single word.
She tells him to come home early. His dad started breeding cute cats and made some serious cash. If his job is too stressful, he can just come home and join the family business. There is no need to take abuse from his boss. Talk about a plot twist. She promised to stop talking, but somehow the conversation immediately shifts right back to the boss. Suddenly, his mom flips the camera to show off their massive family backyard. There are at least 100 fluffy ragdoll cats meowing right at the camera. He is completely stunned.
His main goal was always supporting his parents, but instead, it looks like the old couple had to start a business to pave a path for their son.
He tells her not to overwork herself since they should be resting at their age.
His mom laughs and drops a huge bomb, mentioning his dad was just elected village chief. Which basically makes our boy a wealthy heir. Hearing his mother say this, he steals a glance at the CEO, only to find her secretly giggling next to him.
His mom continues, saying his dad's first move was repairing the village temple.
The villagers love him. Soon he plans to help the entire village get rich by breeding cats together. But here is the catch. His mom sends a temple photo and ruins his cover. The photo of the beautifully restored temple pops up right in front of them both. The CEO barely glances at the image at first, but then it suddenly clicks. She quickly pulls out her phone and opens a photo from her chats.
As she compares them, our guy quickly tells his mom he must hang up.
He promises to visit during the holidays and immediately ends the video call. He sits in the passenger seat trying to look completely casual, but secretly watches her reaction. Suddenly, she hands him her phone and asks if this is his hometown temple. She zooms in on the image, making sure he sees the details of the building. He tries to play it cool, saying every village has a temple like this.
But she cuts him off, knowing it is his village, and tells him to drive.
She orders him to go cook sweet and sour pork, letting the matter drop. After dinner, he cleans the living room while she goes to her room to text.
She texts her online crush about seeing a building just like his photo. She writes that it has been 3 days without a response, wondering if he is there.
She asks if he's doing well, saying she wants to find him. Even if it is just once, while the phone in our guy's pocket vibrates wildly. He pulls it out and reads her messages, and honestly, the tension is unreal right now.
At this point, he low-key hates himself for hiding from the girl he loves.
He desperately wants to be brave and just tell her the truth. But what if confessing only leads to an awkward breakup or total rejection? He is terrified they will become complete strangers and never speak again. With both of them carrying heavy secrets, they finally fall asleep in silence. But in the middle of the night, loud knocking wakes him up completely.
He opens the door to find the gorgeous CEO in her pajamas, her eyes red from crying.
Our guy is so worried he cannot even focus on the CEO's perfect body, which is honestly a tragedy.
Out of nowhere, the boss asks if they can go to his hometown tomorrow. Our boy is completely speechless.
The CEO whips out a laptop, revealing he actually ran a massive search. He tracked down 246 different villages with temples, comparing every single one. Only our guy's village matches the photo perfectly, so the boss begs to go there. Hearing this, our main character's heart absolutely aches for him. He never imagined a random photo he snapped would drive the boss to these crazy lengths. Why is the boss so obsessed with this village temple? There are way better temples in the city. Whether for money or love, but the CEO cuts him off. He just wants to find someone. Looking totally devastated, the CEO stops him, so our guy jokingly asks if this mystery person owes him money. But get this, the boss actually nods. Tears actually start welling up in his eyes, which is just painful to watch. He says this person owes him way more than cash, begging to visit our boy's hometown. At this point, there is literally no way our guy can say no. Seeing this high and mighty CEO pleading like this is just wild. Once he agrees, the CEO finally leaves, and man, this guy does not waste any time. Bright and early the next morning, our guy wakes up. And boom, 2 massive suitcases are in the living room with the CEO already fully dressed and waiting. The CEO gives him exactly 30 minutes to wash up and pack. The trip home is officially approved. They are leaving today, and the boss does not give him a second to argue. Staring at the ticking clock, our boy knows the countdown has officially begun. Panicking, he rushes straight into the bathroom, managed to shower and brush his teeth in under 15 minutes. Once changed, he finds the CEO waiting, telling him to carry the bags down. The boss bought gifts, admitting he had no idea what Lou's parents would actually like. So he just bought a ton of everything, requiring absolute brute force to move. Our boy barely hauls the heavy bags into the trunk before catching the car keys thrown his way. He tells him to drive and immediately hops into the passenger seat. A few minutes pass. Seeing no movement, he rolls down the window with a glaring look. Standing outside looking completely awkward, Liu admits he does not even know how to drive. The sunglasses come off.
He stares in sheer disbelief while our boy begs him to stop judging.
Liu really cannot drive. He literally rides a shared bicycle to work every single day. Plus, after working at the company for so long, has the boss ever seen him with a car? He points to his injured left arm. Driving is impossible. Unless the boss wants to go down in a fiery crash together, he remarks with a smug look. What now, boss? Honestly, looking at that smug face, the CEO looks like he wants to strangle him on the spot. Pinching his bridge in defeat, the boss realizes he totally forgot about the injury.
Since Leo cooked so easily lately, the boss kept treating him like a fully healthy person.
Switch seats, now. He starts up the engine and heads toward Liu's hometown while they pull up the GPS. It is a 4-hour road trip, so our boy starts sharing endless stories from his childhood. He talks about funny village rumors and catching frogs in the muddy river, hunting for fish with childhood friends, and the notorious big yellow dog guarding the village entrance. The dog would chase him down on sight, and surprisingly, the boss is absolutely hooked on these stories. Growing up as a corporate heir, he never had a real childhood. Zero childhood fun. Just endless studying and dry business deals. Honestly, I love this slow-burn friendship dynamic. They do not even feel like boss and subordinate anymore. They feel more like genuine friends, making the 4-hour drive fly by. Thanks to his endless chattering, they finally pull into the countryside by late afternoon. He is finally back in his hometown, instantly drawing stares from locals asking who owns the luxury ride. They marvel at the matte finish, whisper gossiping about how incredibly expensive it looks. Just like her daughter's wealthy boss. A whole crowd quickly gathers around, pointing and whispering at the sleek vehicle. No one ever returns looking like this. They instantly become the ultimate center of attention as someone recognizes Liu's familiar face. Is that really him? He has really made it big, leaving the boss too embarrassed to keep driving through the crowd. The CEO parks and rolls down the window, letting everyone get a clear look at our boy. Smiling locals wave them off, telling our boy to go see his parents. His family is going to be absolutely thrilled to see him back home. Surrounded by hyped villagers, the CEO drives straight toward Chen Ze's family home. Even from a distance, they can hear cats meowing from inside the yard. A man has his back turned, quietly throwing down cat food. It does not look like he is feeding pets, more like he is seeking comfort. Chen Ze gets out and chokes up, calling out to his dad, who turns around completely stunned. He asks if his son finally remembered to visit, calling out for his wife to come quick. Our boy is finally home after all these years. Seeing how much his father has aged with graying hair, Chen Ze cannot stop his tears from falling. His mother rushes out of the house, still wearing her kitchen apron.
Instantly overcome with emotion, she runs over and pulls him into a tight hug.
But that sudden hug hits his freshly broken arm, making him yell out in pain. He warns her that he is injured, making his mom pull back instantly. She panics and looks down, spotting his left arm wrapped in a heavy plaster cast. On the verge of tears, she asks how on earth he got hurt like this. She asks how it got so bad, while Chen Ze just awkwardly scratches his head. He plays it down, claiming he just took a clumsy fall. The CEO lowers her head guiltily and stays quiet, while the mother follows her son's gaze. She spots the gorgeous woman standing nearby and is absolutely stunned by her looks.
She immediately asks if this is his girlfriend, but Chen Ze stammers that they are just friends.
Before he can finish, Lin Aoxue steps in to clarify things. But the parents are not buying it at all, just nodding along with giant grins. They have that look saying they get it, then the mom nudges the dad. Go whip up some amazing food. We have a very special guest tonight.
She even gives him permission to drink, and the dad gets hype like he just won the lottery. Carrying his things inside, Chen Ze asks why his dad is not usually allowed to drink. His mom explains his father recently found out he has liver issues, so the doctor strictly banned alcohol. She has been keeping him on a super tight leash, but is letting him have a little to celebrate today. It all makes sense now. No wonder his dad was acting like a kid on Christmas. Suddenly, Lin Aoxue chimes in to introduce herself. She says her name is Lin Aoxue, and she is just Chen Ze's friend. She explains she just tagged along when she heard he was visiting his parents for New Year. She hopes she is not intruding, but the mom cuts her off, saying they are overjoyed. Both parents are overjoyed she came, especially since Chen Ze is usually hopeless. He has never brought a single girl home before, so she is officially the very first. The mom adds she hopes she will be the last one too, leaving Chen Ze completely speechless. Pro tip, never try to argue with parents about this stuff. Soon, the dad returns with a massive feast. The four of them sit down, and the mom keeps piling food onto Lin Aoxue's plate. She keeps sharing embarrassing childhood stories, barely remembering to ask Chen Ze how he is doing. She treats her like her own daughter. And honestly, the fact that he is just now learning his boss's name is hilarious. After dinner, Chen Ze tries to help clean up, but his mom tells him to sit down because of his arm. She practically forces him to take Lin Aoxue out for a stroll instead. So they end up strolling through the quiet village, taking in the peaceful night. Suddenly, a big yellow dog rushes right at him, and he recognizes it as Da Huang. He laughs, telling the dog to stop licking him after years of chasing and biting him. He gently holds the dog back, laughing as he pats his old buddy on the head. Back in the day, Da Huang was easily the most energetic dog in the entire village. But as Chen Ze grew up, his loyal dog got pretty old too. His eyebrows are literally turning white, which is low-key sad to see. Chen Ze pulls out half a sausage to feed his old buddy. The second he looks down, Da Huang completely vanishes. His dog already ran straight to Lin Aoxue, wagging his tail. Real ungrateful of him to ignore his owner for a pretty face. Chen Ze's like, I literally wanted to feed you, but whatever. Simp dog, though Chen Ze is just teasing him. Honestly, the dog is a total wingman right now. Lin Aoxue is super nervous around the hyped dog at first. But she kneels down and gently pets his head anyway. Da Huang loves it, his tail wagging like crazy. Seeing them get along so well brings a smile to his face. She finally stands up. Looking at him, she asks to see the local Chengguang temple. No dodging this anymore. He is forced to guide her up the winding mountain path. This temple used to be packed with people offering incense, but everyone left. Without visitors, the temple fell into complete ruin. Luckily, his dad restored it. The place got its life back, and our cold CEO starts looking around. She zooms in on an old picture on her phone. It is the exact same layout. Comparing the details, she immediately confirms this is the place. She turns to Chen Ze and asks him for a quick photo. He nods awkwardly. Taking her phone, he snaps the perfect shot, and she texts him immediately. Her hair blows in the wind as she asks to meet him. Seeing her look so lonely, Chen Ze desperately wants to hold her. He wants to tell her he loves her, but he can't. Honestly, guys, this is low-key heartbreaking. His lies are catching up. They have full 5G here. Lin Aoxue is way too smart not to realize the truth. He just ignored her. She suddenly asks him why a friend would actively avoid meeting someone. Her face shows deep disappointment. Chen Ze says if they don't owe money, they probably have secrets. Maybe some painful reasons. Unhappy with his answer, she walks straight inside the temple. She lights some fresh incense and places them in the burner. Closing her eyes, she prays for her online love to show up. Lin Aoxue stands there for a long time, just looking at him like it is enough. Then she opens her eyes and turns around, locking eyes right with Chen Ze. Chen Ze just smiles and tells her the local temple actually is not that magical. Lin Aoxue sighs, walks right over and grabs his arm. She tells him, let us go back, seeing how down he looks. Chen Ze does not argue and just quietly lets her pull him back. The moment they get home, they hear his parents gossiping inside the yard. The dad wonders if that wealthy girl is actually their son's girlfriend. The mom says no way, she clearly comes from a rich family. She is super rich and they do not even recognize any of her expensive gifts. Most labels are in English, which totally blows the parents' minds. Instead of going inside, Lin Aoxue holds Chen Ze back to eavesdrop. His parents think if they are together, it is a massive blessing, so wholesome. But the dad wonders if she will make their future kids take her last name. Hearing this, Chen Ze is so embarrassed he wants to disappear on the spot. But Lin Aoxue stays completely calm while the mom keeps analyzing her loving gaze. The mom is sure she loves their son, making Chen Ze look at her in shock. But looking at her eyes, Chen Ze cannot read her expression at all. He quickly coughs at the gate to stop them from making things weirder. If they keep talking, who knows what crazy rumors they will start spinning next. The parents quickly stand up to welcome Lin Aoxue as they walk inside. They serve some fresh fruit right away, and then the conversation takes a turn. Lin Aoxue mentions Chen Ze took her to the newly renovated temple.
She asks if the dad did it, and he says he was chosen as village chief.
He wanted to do something good, but mentions the renovation was not recent. It actually happened 6 months ago, making Lin Aoxue nod in silence. Talk about a massive plot twist, because his lie is officially busted. He sent those temple photos 3 days ago, making the timeline totally wrong. Luckily, she does not push it, and the parents prepare separate rooms for the night. Just as Chen Ze is sleeping peacefully, a sudden knock wakes him up. He rubs his eyes and opens the door to find Lin Aoxue in her pajamas. He asks if she is not worried about people gossiping at his family home. But Lin Aoxue does not care about local rumors at all. She walks right in, sits down, and just stares at him without a word. He begs her to let him sleep because he is absolutely exhausted. He has no idea what she wants, but knows the village will start gossiping tomorrow. Rumors about a city girl sneakily entering his room are bound to spread. Instead, she coldly tells him to check a file she just sent him. Half asleep, Chen Ze pulls out his phone and unlocks the screen. Suddenly, a video call pops up, and he still has no clue what is happening. By reflex, he accepts the call. Seeing her face on screen is pure comedy. He is completely and utterly doomed. He has absolutely nothing to say and cannot even look her in the eyes. He just stares down at his phone, sweating under her intense, freezing gaze.
He weakly begs for a chance to explain, but she just stays completely silent.
She just turns and walks away, leaving Chen Ze standing there looking completely clueless. At this point, it is game over for him. He feels like his entire world is collapsing. Our boy has zero idea how to face Lin Aoxue now, and the night passes in absolute silence. The next morning, he finally steps out of his room, only to bump right into Lin Aoxue. He tries to play it cool, wishing her a good morning, but she just gives him a freezing glare and walks straight past. He rubs his nose in sheer awkwardness. Winning her back is going to be incredibly tough. It is definitely not happening anytime soon. Then at breakfast, she suddenly announces she is leaving. His mom literally gasps, asking if they really have to head out today. Lin Aoxue makes up some excuse about urgent company business and calls Chen Ze an indispensable star employee. She claims they cannot function without him, but her tone is cold as ice. She does not look at him even once, making his mom glance back and forth between them. Sensing the weird tension, his mom asks if they are just feeling uncomfortable staying here. She assumes the young couple are just not used to being apart for too long. So she tells them to pack up and head back to the city right after breakfast. But she insists they take back all the expensive gifts they brought along, saying she and his dad can never finish them all, and the parents refuse to take no for an answer. So the gifts are loaded right back up, and during the ride, Chen Ze begs her to listen. After miles of heavy silence, she finally snaps back, asking what he could possibly explain. She demands to know how he plans to explain all the lies he told her. He still has no idea when she started suspecting him, but he has zero defense. With nothing left to say, they spend the rest of the 4-hour drive in agonizing silence. Not a single word is spoken until they finally pull up to her apartment building. He reaches out to grab her bags, but she swiftly snatches them away first. Faced with her freezing, no-nonsense attitude, he is forced to step back and just watch. But then she loses her footing and trips. He rushes forward to help, only for her to scream, "Get lost!" She angrily pushes him away and stubbornly forces herself back up on her feet. Dragging the heavy luggage, she walks away. As she disappears, a wave of sadness hits us.
He knows deep down that he might never be allowed back in this place again. Returning home completely crushed, he pulls a key out of his pocket. It is the spare key he had hidden away to keep his little scheme going. He had tucked it away to deceive her, but looking back at his actions now, honestly, he feels like a total clown. He spends so much energy hiding his identity, only to end up with absolutely nothing. Back in his empty apartment, the silence is deafening.
Staring around the quiet space, he feels like he has completely lost his soul.
He sits on the sofa for hours before finally getting up to splash some water on his face.
Staring at his miserable reflection, he loses it and slaps himself hard across the face.
He tells himself to man up. If he truly loves her, he needs to chase her. What is there to lose? With that realization, he gets dressed and ready to fight. He grabs some gifts and rushes to her building, yelling out that he loves her. Standing inside a heart of lit candles with a bouquet of flowers, he makes his move. He screams upstairs, begging for just one real chance to win her heart.
But there is only dead silence. He shouts that even if she wants to reject him,
she should at least let him explain, admitting that he was wrong to lie. But back then, he had absolutely no clue who she really was. The moment our guy yells out that the person he loves is actually his boss, he hears a window pop open upstairs. He looks up, expecting Lin Aoxue, but nope. It is just some random guy in an apron shouting down at him to keep going. Our guy is completely speechless. This neighbor is literally eating sunflower seeds while watching the drama. He keeps shouting, saying he was too terrified to tell her because of their status difference. He was scared she would just leave him, but as he finishes that line, boom, more windows fly open as the entire neighborhood pokes their heads out to watch. They are literally yelling to ask what happens next, seeing this huge crowd. Our guy gets super embarrassed, but he knows deep down, if he backs down right now, he is never getting another shot with her. So he screams, admitting he lied, calling himself a coward and completely useless. But cooking for her at her place made him realize he was madly in love. Seeing her smile while eating made him the happiest man alive. Honestly, this is low-key heartbreaking. This confession actually hits home for the women watching, who immediately start roasting their own husbands. He yells that he does not care anymore, even if she is his boss. He just wants one single chance to prove how much he truly loves her. He even offers to work for free, but the moment those words leave his mouth, the entire crowd bursts out laughing, with some low-key finding his stupidity adorable. He declares that if she does not come down, he is staying right there. With total determination, he stands completely frozen with the flowers in hand. At this point, a massive crowd of random people starts gathering around him. Word spreads like wildfire. Neighbors on their balconies, people on the street. Within minutes, the entire courtyard is completely packed with onlookers. But as 30 minutes slowly tick by, the crowd starts losing patience.
some guy in the crowd yells out, "Hey brother, just give it up already."
She clearly is not coming down. Everyone around starts telling him to move on. But instead of giving up, he looks up and screams with all his remaining strength. Is there seriously no hope left? The entire crowd falls dead silent. As he stares at the empty doorway, reality finally hits him hard. The last candle flickers and dies out, taking all his hopes along with it. He hangs his head and turns to leave. The crowd silently parts to let him through. Looking around, he can see everyone's face. Some feel bad, others look disappointed. And of course, some are just enjoying the cringe. But then, boom! A super familiar voice asks what on earth he is doing. He looks up. It is Lin Aoxue, looking completely stunned next to a cart overflowing with groceries. Wait, she was out grocery shopping the entire time? She was not even home? All that intense crying was completely wasted, but he is not about to start over. He drops the flowers and launches himself forward, locking Lin Aoxue in a tight hug. She instantly panics, telling him to let go and warning him not to squeeze so hard. Her arm still hurts, but he begs her to just let him hold her for a second.
"Just for a little bit," he says, burying his face into Lin Aoxue's shoulder.
Taking in the sweet scent of her hair, the crowd around them immediately starts cheering. They chant for them to get together. Embarrassed, she begs him to let go first. She pleads that they should go home and talk because of the massive audience.
Lin Aoxue's face is completely red from embarrassment, so she softly begs him to release her. Hearing that they can finally go home, our boy jumps up and nods like crazy.
He immediately grabs the shopping cart from her hands and starts wheeling it back.
Lin Aoxue rushes to catch up because honestly, the public embarrassment is getting too real. Waving to the crowd, he promises to send them all wedding invites. But Lin Aoxue grabs him by the ear, asking if he has any shame left. She warns him she is going to deal with him at home, and though it hurts, he is low-key loving it. Honestly, his heart is completely full once they finally get back to her place. As soon as she sits on the sofa, he walks straight over and drops to his knees. He hangs his head like a guilty puppy, saying he knows he messed up. But then, his focus shifts instantly. And bro, she is wearing black stockings? His brain completely short-circuits.
She is waiting for him to finish apologizing, but catches him staring straight at her legs.
Pulling her legs away, she threatens to gouge his eyes out if he keeps looking. Startled, he quickly wipes his drool and promises he is done looking.
She raises an eyebrow, noting that it looked like he came over to propose.
He immediately asks if she will marry him and tries to stand back up.
But one sharp glare from her puts him right back on his knees. No more playing around.
He admits he lied to her and played with her feelings.
Before knowing who she was, he genuinely wanted to spend his life with her. Dropping the playful act, he looks up with pure sincerity. Total silence. Her reaction is obvious.
Demanding a full explanation first, she listens as he confesses about the meeting.
At the time, he was terrified of her high status as president,
while he was just a regular employee, making him feel they had absolutely zero chance. Her face starts blushing as he explains. But then she remembers those teasing comments about master's orders.
Not to mention the embarrassing outfit she wore just to eat out with him.
Getting more annoyed the more she thinks about it, she suddenly kicks him right over. Confused, he sits up and asks what he did wrong.
Just because she felt like kicking him, she tells him to keep talking.
Rubbing his shoulder, he sits back up and continues listing his crimes. Reminding her of the time she clumsily cooked for him when he was hurt.
The tension builds as he looks straight into her eyes. His confession about wanting to take care of her forever makes her blush.
That sweet talk completely gets to her, and her face turns bright red.
Rolling her eyes, she tries to brush it off as sweet talk.
He insists that everyone deserves happiness, not expecting an immediate yes. All he wants is a genuine chance to prove his love. His serious tone is so genuine that it actually makes her cheeks burn.
Staring back, she tries hard to play it cool.
Acting all tsundere, she says it depends on how he behaves. Now she wants a great dinner, prompting him to instantly jump up.
Bowing like a classic waiter, he tells his guests to sit back and watch.
Unpacking the groceries, he wastes no time. Selecting her favorite ingredients, he gets straight to work in the kitchen. Talk about a great start. She is actually willing to give him a real chance. Instead of just kicking him out, if our boy plays his cards right here, his chances are looking pretty good. Then she hands him an apron to wear. Out of nowhere, Lin Aoxue steps up behind him and gently wraps her arms around his waist. She ties the apron on, and before he can even process what is happening, she plants a quick, sweet kiss right on his cheek before running off.
She sits on the couch, teasing him with her eyes while he boldly asks for another kiss.
He points to his right cheek, but she tells him he has to earn it with dinner first. Otherwise, couch duty tonight. Bro, our guy instantly gets the hint. If he cooks a masterpiece, he gets to share her room. This is peak motivation. He goes absolutely beast mode to show off his cooking skills. He is chopping and sautéing like a chef possessed, while Lin Aoxue quietly watches. She watches him cook. It is such a contrast to before. At first, she was completely furious.
She could not accept the truth at first, but then she started putting the pieces together.
The online crush she fell for was literally him. Plus, spending real time with him made her realize he is actually not that bad of a guy. She planned to end it tomorrow if things felt off. But plans completely changed when she went out to grab groceries and found him waiting downstairs. After hearing his incredibly sincere confession, all her defenses just completely melted away. No matter which version of him she fell for online or offline, he is still the same guy. At dinner, he cannot stop staring at her, making her ask if she has something on her face. Our boy is completely mesmerized, and honestly, her shy reaction is just too cute. He just smiles and says he can never get tired of looking at his beautiful future wife. She blushes, firing back that she never agreed to that. Loving how flustered she is, he pulls out his phone and hits play on a recorded voice note.
Her recorded voice cutely asks him to cook for her forever.
Lin Aoxue absolutely loses it, drops her chopsticks in pure embarrassment, and tries to grab the phone.
She tells him to shut it off because she is literally dying of embarrassment right now.
But as she snatches the phone, she spots his open memo app. She instantly goes silent as she reads his very first entry about meeting a wonderful girl online.
They just clicked immediately over everything.
He was even too shy to call her baby back then, which is honestly so adorable.
It was his first love. He had to be bold. He even admitted to boldly asking for some cute pictures, and she actually sent them.
He was low-key thrilled. When she mentioned loving grilled fish, he felt it was fate, because that is his absolute specialty.
Reading his old thoughts about fate makes her eyes tear up as she continues to scroll.
Suddenly, her eyes tear up at his realization.
But did he even stand a chance? He kept questioning if a powerful boss like her could ever fall for a regular employee.
But he decided to go all in anyway, even jokingly writing about her surprisingly strong grip.
She almost broke his arm once, and he hoped she wouldn't beat him up.
Lin Aoxue keeps scrolling, deeply touched by how he recorded every little detail of their journey.
Every single milestone from the day they met online is written down right there.
He remembers every single tiny detail after that day perfectly.
She found out, and she stopped talking to him.
He kept wondering if they'd end like this. He couldn't accept it.
He wanted to be brave and go find her.
The memo ends there because he was standing right in front of her.
Smiling, he watches Lin Aoxue wipe her tears and type something on her phone. She shows him the screen. It says they're together now, making today their official anniversary. He looks from the phone back to Lin Aoxue, who blushes and nods. Overjoyed, he wraps his arms around her with all his strength. Holding her so tight, he promises he won't ever let her down. He whispers his love in her ear, and she quietly says she knows.
As Lin Aoxue replies, he gently holds her by the shoulders. They lock eyes, and he can't resist pulling her close.
He kisses her deeply, and she immediately kisses him right back.
It's like all their struggles were just tests to prove their love.
They finally made it, and man, the chemistry here is off the charts. He tries to scoop Lin Aoxue up and head to the bedroom, but she stops him.
"What's wrong?" he asks. "Didn't you promise to wear that purple lingerie?"
No backing out now. But no matter how much he begs, Lin Aoxue uses his injuries as an excuse.
She shuts down his plans, so they just end up sharing a bed that night.
Absolutely nothing spicy happens. They just hold each other close and talk. They talk until they fall asleep. But the next morning, he gets blasted awake by Lin Aoxue screaming. He opens his eyes to see her frantically searching for her clothes. "What's the matter, babe?" Lin Aoxue just rolls her eyes at him. Getting dressed, she complains it's his fault for keeping her up so late.
"She's got a big meeting today and she's super late."
Snuggling in the warm bed while watching Lin Aoxue rush around? He honestly feels like a spoiled trophy boyfriend right now. Go get him, boss lady. The company needs ya. But he's going back to sleep. With that, he passes back out and doesn't wake up until noon. After rolling out of bed, he whips up some lunch. He packs the food into a bento box and takes a cab to her office. Under the receptionist's confused stare, he walks straight into the CEO's office. "Hey, babe, did you miss me? I brought you some homemade lunch." He bursts inside dramatically, only to freeze instantly. The office is absolutely packed with people. He totally forgot about the weekly Monday meetings. She always debriefs her core team right after they finish. Fast forward a bit. Lin Aoxue takes him home to meet her parents. He gets so drunk with his future father-in-law, they almost swear a brotherhood oath. Honestly, if Lin Aoxue hadn't stopped them, he'd be her adoptive uncle by now. Before they leave, the sweet old couple hands him 2 bank cards containing their life savings. One card is for their wedding, and the other is for their future kids. After politely trying to refuse, he accepts the gifts, and they head back home.
That night, he wraps his arms around Lin Aoxue with a sneaky grin. Looking at her like that makes him so restless. Wife. Since your parents already gave us cash for our future kid, shouldn't we hurry up and make a baby right now? Otherwise, this money goes to waste. She blushes and calls him a scoundrel. Then she crawls out from under the covers, and that is when our guy notices. She is actually wearing that same purple nightgown from before, and he absolutely cannot hold back anymore. After waiting for so long, they are finally about to seal the deal tonight. He literally pounces on her with a wild shout, and no surprises here, Lin Aoxue gets pregnant. Soon, their grand wedding day arrives, and to keep the promise he made back then, he does something wild. He invites the entire neighborhood to celebrate, while his parents are literally crying floods of happy tears at the altar. They keep muttering how their stubborn pig of a son finally managed to score an absolute masterpiece of a wife. When his father-in-law finally hands over Lin Aoxue, who looks absolutely stunning in her white gown. Staring at this goddess standing right in front of him, our guy feels like he is dreaming. Proclaiming his love, he gets down on one knee and asks if she will marry him. Holding the wedding ring in his hand, he looks up at Lin Aoxue with pure, unfiltered devotion. Lin Aoxue grabs the microphone and says yes so clearly that literally everyone in the room can hear.
After the wedding, they travel all over for their honeymoon, and during that sweet time,
Our boy literally feels like the luckiest husband on earth as Lin Aoxue's baby bump starts growing bigger by the day.
To make sure she gets the best care, he decides to bring his parents over from the village to live in their neighborhood, and the old couple cannot stop staring at her belly. They are absolutely thrilled, while Lin Aoxue officially goes into full pampering and recovery mode. But here is the catch. Now the entire company's workload falls squarely onto our main character's shoulders. He is incredibly busy every single day running the whole business by himself. Then he has to drag his exhausted body back home to cook gourmet, healthy meals for Lin Aoxue. He literally does not repeat a single dish for half a month. But after all this chaos, Lin Aoxue actually gains some healthy weight, while our poor guy is so exhausted he loses over 10 pounds. Soon, the big day arrives for Lin Aoxue to give birth, and the entire family waits outside the delivery room in pure anxiety until the doctor finally walks out holding a beautiful, tiny baby, and everyone finally lets out a massive sigh of relief. The doctor tries to hand the baby to him, but he immediately lets the in-laws watch the newborn and rushes straight into the recovery room first and seeing his devotion. Both sets of parents nod their heads in absolute approval, and under their constant loving care, little Chen Lin grows up healthy and strong, and after becoming a mother, Lin Aoxue steps down to a supporting role at work. She becomes his personal secretary instead, and today is another busy Monday. He is running the routine weekly meeting in the main conference room, a job that originally used to belong to Lin Aoxue. But now it is his duty, and as he stands there presenting the company's future direction and current plans,
out of nowhere, a direct message pops up on the main projector screen for everyone to see.
The contact name says Darling Wife, asking for $50 to unlock baby number 2. Talk about a hilarious plot twist.